In today's video, I'm going to be explaining how you can save £1,000 even on a low income. I get it, saving money is really difficult at the best of times, especially with the cost of living crisis and inflation, but I'm confident that with these tips you can save £1,000 relatively easily. So the first thing you need to think about is whether saving £1,000 is actually a realistic goal. So to do that, you need to work out your budget. Now, this means looking at all of your outgoings and looking at the money that you have coming in. It might be the case that your outgoings are far higher than your income, which means that there's a disconnect somewhere and you'll need to try and cut back on your expenses or increase your income somehow, whether that's through a second job, negotiating your pay at work, finding yourself a new job with a pay rise, or starting a side hustle. You can also look to reduce your outgoings by analysing the money that you're spending. Look at your bank statement. I know it's uncomfortable. Look at your direct debit. See whether there's anything that you can cut back on. Do you really need 5 different subscription services? I'm not saying that that's the reason that you can't save money, but if you want to save £1,000 quickly on a low income, then you're going to have to be a little bit ruthless. My second tip is to set your intention. Now, studies have shown time and time again that if you write down your goals, you are exponentially more likely to achieve them. So this means writing down your goal to save £1,000 and, if possible, write it every single day in the morning and even in the evening too, just so that your mind stays focused on the task at hand. And by doing this, you even kind of reprogram your brain to look for opportunities to make money and look for opportunities to save money, which will get you closer to your goal faster. It's actually incredible how this works. Okay, so now that you've set your intention to save, my third tip is to automate your savings and to save little and often. So one thing that I do is to automate my savings by using firstly the roundup feature, which I have a Monzo bank account and a Lloyd's bank account, and they both have a save the change feature. That means that every time I spend money in the shops or online, the change from the nearest pound will get rounded up. So for example, if I buy something that costs £1.50, the 50p that's left that would make the second pound gets automatically saved into a savings account. Although it might not seem like a lot of money gets saved by doing this, it actually can add up over time. To save £1,000 in a year, you only need to put away £2.74 per day. So if you use your card multiple times a day, that money you could be saving £2.74 just from the roundup feature. But if you want to be intentional, then set up a direct debit for either £2.74 per day if you'd prefer to see the money trickling out of your bank account slowly, or figure out how long you want to save the money in, whether that's 6 months, 3 months, 2 months, and divide £1,000 by that number and set a direct debit to your savings account so that the money is automatically transferred on your payday to your savings account. That way you don't have to lift a finger and yet you know that you're putting the money away. If you'd like me to do a video on how to set up an automatic transfer, then please let me know. My fourth tip I kind of have already covered, but it's still really important because especially on a low income, you're going to have to find the money from somewhere. You know, we've said that it's only £2.74 a day, but that's still 70 odd pounds a month. And if you have a low income, or if you don't have that disposable money to put away, then the first thing that I would do is to look to my direct debits to see if there are any that I can cancel. I would also try and avoid going to places like restaurants just while you're trying to save money, and maybe look for low-cost activities to do with your friends instead. So for example, I'm trying to save money at the moment because I've got a skiing trip coming up that's really expensive. So I know that I still want to see my friends, but I have just said to them, like, why don't we go on a walk to catch up? Or why don't we go for coffee? Or even go to the gym. Like, the gym is a great place to socialize. Obviously not when you're trying to, reach a PB necessarily, but if you're just looking to have a bit of a catch up with a friend while doing some kind of light cardio, light weightlifting, then I actually really enjoy going to the gym with friends. So that's a really good low cost activity. Otherwise, every time I go for dinner, I spend at least like £25. And if you could easily save £70 a month just by avoiding dinners for a few months. And my fifth and final tip is one for those who, like myself, have a bit of a habit of dipping back into your savings account if there's something that you really want on an impulse. So I used to do this all the time, and when I was saving to buy my flat, I actually had to put my savings into an account that I couldn't access. So I had this bank account where I didn't have a debit card, I didn't have online banking. The only way that I was able to get the money out was to go into the branch, queue up, withdraw cash, and that was just not something that I wanted to do if I had like a whim to buy a pair of shoes that I saw in the sale. So that's my final tip. If you're like me and sometimes have a little bit of a tendency to buy things impulsively, which can mess up your savings goals, then definitely think about having a difficult to access savings account that you can't keep dipping in and out of. And also check out this video that I did on how to supercharge your savings with Monzo, because I've got some really cool tricks in that video. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm going to be posting a lot on personal finance tips. So if you like this sort of content, then please make sure to give me a subscribe. Please make sure to subscribe to my channel and give this video a like. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.